People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. That has to be an act of Congress.
That was Nancy Pelosi in July 2021, claiming the President of the United States does not have the power to cancel student debt. Now fast forward to August 2022, just days away from the deadline to restart payments on America's $1.7 trillion worth of federal student loans that were paused during the pandemic. President Biden decided to use $500 billion of US taxpayers' money to do just that.
We will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans.
So how did he do it? Well, he claims Congress has granted the power to the Department of Education in something called the HEROES Act that was passed in 2003 in the wake of 9/11. It provides relief to students during wars and national emergencies. And in case you didn't realize, the US is apparently still in a national emergency. It was originally declared by Trump on March 13, 2020 in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. But in 2022, President Biden decided to continue the national emergency status, extending it beyond March 2022. National emergencies by default last 1 year, but can be renewed by the president. So Biden has ensured that we are in a national emergency until at least February 2023, even though society seems to be functioning as if COVID didn't exist. Schools and businesses are open, masks are largely gone, and most vaccine mandates have been cancelled. But he needed the national emergency in order to apply the HEROES Act of 2003 to student debt. Here's how the General Counsel explains it to the Secretary of Education in a memo. The HEROES Act authorizes the Secretary to waive or modify any statutory or regulatory provision applicable to the student financial assistance programs if the Secretary deems such waivers or modifications necessary to ensure at least one of several enumerated purposes, including that borrowers are not placed in a worse position financially because of a national emergency. But Nancy Pelosi just last year effectively said the language in the HEROES Act didn't mean the president could cancel debt completely.
He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power.
So doing the mental gymnastics necessary to turn the HEROES Act into debt forgiveness by combining it with the probably unnecessary national emergency is risky, since the policy could end up getting struck down in court and lawsuits are already brewing. Even one Democrat think tank opposed the plan because of the risk it could get overturned by the courts. But maybe for the Biden administration that doesn't really matter, since if those court cases happen before the midterms, it could make those who oppose the administration look bad and probably help the Democrats in the polls. And if they happen after the midterms and cancel the policy, the government saves $500 billion anyway and may have benefited from a boost in the polls because they at least tried to cancel student debt. And cancelling the debt in such a way has never been done before for a very good reason. It isn't fair on those who've already paid off their loans or who simply worked hard to pay for college. Just look at the reaction from Senator Elizabeth Warren when asked about this by a father who paid for his daughter's college in full.
I just want to ask one question. My daughter's getting out of school. I've saved all my money. She doesn't have any student loans. Am I going to get my money back? Of course not. So you're going to pay for people who didn't save any money, and those of us that did the right thing get screwed.
But the administration rebuts this, saying the policy is only happening in response to the pandemic and wouldn't exist otherwise.
Those who are saying it's not fair, look, the aim of this is really to address the effects of the pandemic. It's my responsibility to make sure that people aren't coming out of the pandemic worse off than they were at the beginning.
So guys, do you think it's fair? And do you think the Biden administration had the authority to do it in the first place? Leave your comments below and please subscribe for another episode of Dirty Money next Monday.